I was asked before I went to Florida State Prison if I would have any problems carrying out the death penalty, and my answer was no. One day, I finally did sit down with myself, and I said, there is no way I could ever support another execution. I was starting out as a correctional officer in 1978 at Dade Correctional Institution down in Dade County near Florida City. I was a strong supporter of the death penalty. It was out of sight, out of mind. It was something that I always felt was the right thing to do. And then my first execution came along. And getting up close to an execution means that some 30 days or so before you kill someone, you get to know this person very well. You start to learn from these people that they regret what they did. They'd like to back up and do it all over again if they could. You hear a lot of interesting things from people who are condemned to die. And then finally, on that final day, you walk into a cell early in the morning. Minutes before the execution, you sit down on the bunk next to the condemned and you tell this person, time has come. And it's amazing how they sort of help you along at that point. They seem to start gathering a little courage and telling you things like, don't worry, it's okay, I can handle it. Anyone who gets up close to an execution, physically touches the person they're getting ready to kill, speaks to them, communicates with them, shares their most intimate thoughts in those last few minutes of their life, and then takes them into this dirty little room and kills them. If they can honestly say that that person doesn't come back to visit them from time to time, they're not human. We arrived at the death chamber after going through the same process. We strapped Pedro Medina into the electric chair. I remember seeing the electrician's hand go down into the bucket with a saline solution and pull out the natural sponge. And I remember seeing a lot of water being squeezed from that sponge, and I questioned it immediately. The electricity is applied to the condemned. A flame dips down out of the helmet, comes right up in front of my face. The electrician looked at me and said, "Continue," which was a question. Imagine the agony had we removed the helmet and there had been any sign of life. Of course, I told him to continue. The chamber filled up with smoke from the burning sponge and the burning flesh. The stench was unbelievable. I'd smelled burning flesh before, but this was just awful. It was during those years in Orlando that I had an opportunity to look back at Stark, Florida, and to ask myself why. The question of innocence was a huge thing for me, and then I started hearing about more and more people being found innocent, and especially those that were found innocent after they were executed. So one day, I finally did sit down with myself, and I said, there is no way I could ever support another execution. It's interesting that I should be asked, why I would sort of come out of my shell and speak out against the death penalty. I feel obligated to, and I'll talk to anyone about the death penalty who will stand in front of me long enough to hear my story.